Hey class, this video talking about our spiritual disciplines. I would say my definition of spiritual disciplines would very much so align and agree with Foster's in saying that they're means of grace. They're ways that we are able to encounter God through similar practices that are done on a regular basis. And so, in terms of that, there's outward, there's inward, there's corporate. So, what does that mean to me? Well, inward, I think of something that is like that I'm doing privately or I'm doing personally. So, my prayer life. Outward is what I am doing that may be a little bit more visibly. So, serving. And then corporate, something that I'm doing with other people. So, it's a means of grace with other people. It might be like taking communion. How often do I practice spiritual disciplines? I would have to see an entire list of what all of them would be because I wonder like if some people maybe agree certain spiritual disciplines and then others are not spiritual disciplines. But I would say like by and large, scripture reading is the one that I do primarily the most. That's the one that I love the most, but that's also the one that I, in some sense, struggle with the most. So I was raised in a church where we had spiritual disciplines. We practiced them from a young age, but because of that, like it became very regimented in reading my Bible, and so then I walked away from reading it on a very tight schedule and would just kind of open the Bible and point and be like, okay, this sounds good, I'm going to read here, and that didn't help my spiritual growth long term, short term but not long term. And so I'm getting back into the process. I have been for the last couple of years where I'm looking at, okay, how can I actually just read this in one sitting? How can I read this entire book? Just focusing on one thing at a time, as opposed to like the read a Bible in a year. As great as those are, they're very overwhelming for me. I'm the type of person that's like, oh, I just got to read, I got to finish and check it off. And I don't want that to be a part of my life in spiritual disciplines. So, spiritual disciplines, as much as I think they are helpful, they are also very challenging for me. And so, man, if there's anything that I could learn from this class in that, I would just welcome that. Looking forward to learning new things about spiritual disciplines in this class, and looking forward to ways that I can just challenge myself, and maybe one of you have been doing something that's been working really, really well, and maybe you've been in the same boat. And then where I'm at currently, we do practice spiritual disciplines on a pretty regular basis, but I would say we encourage more of the inward and the outward more so than we do the corporate spiritual disciplines, and that's because it's strongly encouraged in our small groups. So until next time, bye bye.